Welcome to another edition of Sip and Bite. I'm your host, Susan Monday. Sip and Bite brought to you by the Caputo Restaurant Group. The truth is on your fork. And with me this afternoon, actually, Caputo is here, and JulieAnne Cross, one of the founders of the Delaware Burger Battle. We're going to talk about that for most of the show and then find out what Caputo is up to during this edition of Sip and Bite. So welcome to both of you. You've both been on the show before.
Thanks.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Julie, what's the idea behind... Everybody likes burgers, right? What's the idea behind the Delaware Burger Battle?
You're right. Everybody does like burgers. A couple years back, I realized that there weren't any burger competitions in the area, and I had approached one of my other co-founders, and we decided to get a bunch of restaurants together to compete for the title of Best Burger in Delaware. There are two ways to win. You can get a Critics' Choice Trophy, and that's determined by a panel of judges, or the restaurant can get a People's Choice Trophy. So every guest that comes to the burger battle gets to try as many burgers as they want, and they can place votes. And later in the day, we present trophies to at least two different restaurants. This is our third year, and including this year, we've had 29 total restaurants to compete.
This year, 29.
Including this year, cumulatively, we've had 29 different restaurants compete.
Okay.
And we've given 4 trophies away so far.
And where and when is it?
It is Saturday, August 23rd, and it's noon to 3:30 p.m. at Twin Lakes Brewery, which is in Greenville, Delaware.
Oh, so it's going to be up in Newcastle County. But
it is.
Will we have participants from Sussex County in the burger battle?
We do. We have 3 participants from Sussex County. Abbott's Grill, which is right up the street from you.
Right.
Naj Restaurant, and they're coming back for a second year to compete. And the generous Caputo is bringing his Rose and Crown Burger to compete.
So who has won in the prior 2 years?
The winners of the last 2 years were Red Fire Grill won last year the Critics' Choice Trophy.
That's up in Hockessin, right?
That's Hockessin, yes. And they won with a burger with cheddar and maple bacon.
Okay.
I tasted that late in the day. It was very, very good. The year before the Critics' Choice Burger was Kildare's, which is a Newark, Delaware restaurant. Kildare's Irish Pub, and I remember them having Guinness braised onions on their burger. That was a big hit. I went back to try that after the event because, you know, you get busy during the event. You actually don't eat any burgers. And Union City Grill won the People's Choice Burger 2 years in a row with Angus beef and heirloom tomatoes.
Is this the first year that Sussex County restaurants will be participating?
It is not. It's the second year.
Oh, okay.
Naj came forward last year. And that's really a big reason for the change of our name. We were the Wilmington Burger Battle. Now we're Delaware Burger Battle because when Naj came forth, they're obviously very proud of their burger. And we thought if they were going to come up here to compete, we would really like to see what we can do in the whole state of Delaware with the competition.
How much are the tickets?
$45.
And what do you get for it?
Well, it's all inclusive. So if the guests that come in, you can try as many burgers as you want.
And are they big size burgers or are they little slider size burgers?
Most of the businesses cut them in quarters. If they cut them smaller than quarters, I don't know. That sounds very complicated. But some do just plain sliders.
Yeah.
So they're little, and I would estimate the average person can't taste more than 8 of the burgers.
I know, that's a lot of meat.
There's a lot of tricks, though. Like some people go with their spouse and they'll share the bite with the spouse, so then they're really getting to try much more than like 8 or so burgers.
Okay. And where can you buy the tickets?
Our website is deburgerbattle.com, and there's a link from that website. That'll also tell you all about the event.
Are you getting something else besides burgers for the $45?
Yeah, it's all inclusive. So we don't expect you to come in and start dishing out a whole lot of cash for different things. It's at the Twin Lakes Brewery, so all their fresh, local, and delicious beer is available to sample all day. We have been working on some other beverages, and I can't yet say we are going to have wine. We are working on it, but I can confirm that we are going to have cider.
Okay.
So
there will be beer and there will be cider.
Beer and cider and soft drinks, and we're working on wine, crossing our fingers.
Yeah, I'm just kind of wondering, like burgers and wine. I think it would be okay, but I think beer is better. I'll ask Jay more about that. But what's it like to attend a burger battle?
Well, it's a nice generally nice warm day, bright and sunny. We have shelter. We have big tents and tables and things for everybody to sit around. We have music. There's face painting. It's actually an all ages event. We have different pricing for children and teenagers. We keep it pretty simple. You go to a lot of events and there's silent auction this and there's this and there's this and it's pretty much we want you to come and really pay attention to the burgers. We want you to enjoy the beer, relax with your friends. A lot of people find it to be a really relaxing day to just chill out. It's just about the end of the summer. A lot of the schools start the Monday after, so families are finally coming back together after busy summer. So it's a really relaxing day.
So you changed the name to just Delaware Burger Battle. It was the Wilmington Burger Battle. You've got 3 participants from the Kent County, Sussex County. Anybody else from Kent County that we might know about?
Kent Wells, I think, is lower Newcastle County. That's Odessa, but the other 3 are Sussex County.
Well, I'm really competitive, and I know Jay Caputo is as well, so I'm hoping that we place really well in this Delaware Burger Battle. So let's go right to Jay. You'll be competing with your business partner, David Dietz from the Brandywine Brewing Company. Now, I've been there, and I don't know if I've eaten the burger. Is that at all awkward?
No, it's not awkward at all. Dave and I are good friends. His burger's great. We just think ours might be a little bit better.
Well, all right, so you're submitting the Rose and Crown burger, and I've been to the Rose and Crown many times. I don't think I've had the burger.
It's the number 1 selling thing on the menu. Actually, our bacon burger is the number 1 selling thing on the menu. We actually grind all the meat for our burgers and stuff like that, but we also grind the bacon and mix it with the meat in order to make the bacon burgers.
Yes.
So,
is that what you're going to be showing at this, or something different? Or you don't want to let the cat out of the bag?
I don't know if we're going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but I can assure you it's going to be fresh. It's going to be pretty special, and we intend to win.
To me, it really is all about the meat, is it not?
Well, I mean, you certainly can't hide behind a bad piece of meat,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, you got that's the starting point.
And there's, you want to have a certain mix of fat and meat ratio. Fat tastes good. So, grinding bacon and mixing it with the beef makes it taste amazing. So you got to start with a good product, and then it's all, everybody's got a different version of the burger. They're talking about Guinness braised onions and all kinds of different stuff. I'm sure somebody will do a stuffed burger. I mean, there's a million different things you can do with it. But you have to start with a good product. So
where do you get your good product for your bacon burger, your burger at Rose and Crown?
I buy all of my beef from a farm called Zitvogel Farms in southern Delaware. So we use that. And
when I go and buy ground beef, I don't buy it a lot, but I usually try to get like 85% meat and I guess it's 15% fat. Is that good, or is that a good ratio, or you try to get it higher than that?
I would say that that's a good ratio for you at home. Mm-hmm. And when you go out to a restaurant, you probably would expect something more like 75-25.
Really? I would actually expect something higher.
No. The more fat, the better.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And people always say when they go out to restaurants, I can never get it to taste as good at home. Well, we use more fat and we use more salt than you do.
That's why.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. I thought
butter tastes good.
I thought that when I would get it at a restaurant, it would be better, meaning less fat. But you're saying more fat's better.
Absolutely. Fat is flavor.
What made you decide to compete this year? This is your first year in this.
They asked. I don't think I've been asked in the past, and they asked us to do it. And, I have a lot of restaurant friends in Newcastle County, and just seemed like a good event, a fun event, a summertime thing to keep, Sussex County and tourism and, people coming down and keep our restaurants in the forefront of people's minds.
What would make a bad burger? I mean, like, you can't, can you ruin a burger?
Oh,
Because
hell
I think
yeah.
you can. Right.
Overcook it.
Yeah.
Too lean, that sort of thing. I think also with a really good burger, the bun to meat ratio is very important.
Oh,
you
talk
can't
about
have
that.
too much bread. And that's one of the things where people will get really filled up at this event where they could, JulieAnne said you could, people only eat 8 burgers or something. I mean,
because of the bun.
Well, yeah, you eat a lot of bread, drink a lot of beer, you're going to be really full.
Yeah.
So,
what kind of bun do you use for your bacon burger at Rose and Crown?
We use a homemade brioche bun. But we, it's not like a huge fluffy bun. Like, I'm very particular about the bun to meat ratio. So
what does that mean? Like, tell me. So it's not as much bun to the meat, or what's the ratio?
I mean, there is not a specific weight ratio. You know, I know it when I see it.
Okay.
But, you know, there's lots of different, you know, some places you go, the burger is sort of flat and wide, you know, and then you would need a wider bun,
Yeah.
you know. Some places they're really fat and tall and plump, and you need a more narrow bun. So it's all a matter of personal preference. For me, I'd like to taste the meat and just have the bun be the vessel, as opposed to, you know, having an amazing piece of bread with, you know, a crappy piece of meat in there.
So what's with your bacon burger at Rose and Crown? Is it flat or is it fat?
It's sort of a combination of both. We do 8-ounce patties. We hand make all of them, and we do a 3.5-ounce bun.
So 8 ounces of meat, man.
Yeah,
That's a
I mean,
lot
when
of
it
meat.
cooks, it shrinks a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, we start with 8 ounces. It's probably 6.5 ounces on the plate, and 3.5-ounce bun. And I think that it's a pretty good ratio. You know, we doctored up a little bit.
We're talking about the Delaware Burger Battle. It happens on Saturday, August the 23rd. We're here with JulieAnne Cross. She's one of the founders of the Burger Battle. And Jay Caputo, sponsor of Sip and Bite, owner of Rose and Crown and Espuma, and soon to be another restaurant in the Rehoboth area, which we'll be talking about during the show. When we come back, you'll be hearing more from Jay and JulieAnne on this burger battle and what else they're up to right here on Sip and Bite, Delaware 105.9. Welcome back to Sip and Bite. I'm your host, Susan Monday. Sip and Bite brought to you by the J. Caputo Restaurant Group. The truth is on your fork. With me this afternoon, JulieAnne Cross, co-founder of the Delaware Burger Battle. And Jay Caputo, he owns some restaurants. Espuma for one. Rose and Crown, another. And you don't know what the third one's going to be called? To be decided?
It is a to be determined name. We've gone back and forth on a couple of different names, and we've actually seen some published in prominent publications.
And slanderous.
You know, it is what it is. I mean, we had some ideas for it, and naming a restaurant is very important. So
we'll talk about that. We will talk about that. We were talking about the fact that you're going to be new to this burger battle, and you're not revealing. It's not going to be your bacon burger that you serve at the Rose and Crown, or it could be. You're being very coy about it.
It could be a twist on the bacon burger. It could be something completely different. You know, I got lots of ideas, so we'll see what actually ends up on the plate.
But what I have astonishingly learned here is that I'm buying the expensive meat or too expensive meat to make my burgers. It should have more fat. I'm buying like 85%, and you're telling me 75% is better.
Yeah,
Ooh.
fat. The more fat, the better.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
All right.
I mean, I'll tell you this: when we make our bacon burger, we take 33% bacon, ground bacon, and 67% beef. Mix it together. The beef is 75-25.
That's a lot of fat, man.
I mean, yeah, it tastes good.
Well, what are your favorite burgers? I know you like your own, but besides your own, if you think about burgers, maybe in the state of Delaware, or it doesn't even have to be in the state. I'm a Five Guys kind of gal. I love Five Guys.
I think Five Guys is amazing for a hangover burger. It's amazing.
So you have different categories.
Oh,
Hangover
absolutely.
burger.
There's totally different burgers. I think BBC has a good burger. Naj has a very good burger. You know, most of the nicer restaurants that serve burgers do a pretty good job with it. You know, I'm kind of drawing a blank. Like I said, Naj has a really good burger. Shoot.
If it comes to you, you can just interject.
It'll pop to me.
Alternative burgers, a turkey burger maybe. Is there a category for like something vegetarian, like a black bean burger, something like that?
Yeah, this is our third year, and ever since year one, we've been trying to get an alternative burger category going. We didn't have any entries the first year, and the second year we only had one, and that was Homegrown Cafe did a vegetarian burger, and there was beets and chocolate, and it was actually really very good, but we couldn't. There was no competition to compete with,
right,
so we hung on to the trophy, and he just competed in the regular burger category. This year, we definitely have a black bean vegan burger, and then we have another contestant that has said they're going to do an alternative burger, but the protein or what have you is TBD. So, and what you should know is we don't tell the public what the burger recipes are before the burger battle. Mm-hmm. We have judging, so we try to keep that as close to a perfect blind tasting as possible, but it would be hard to talk about it without saying we do have one vegan burger.
So who are the judges? You've got the people making the decision, right? You've got the people's choice, then you've got the critics. Who are the critics?
Right. Well, we're working on, foodies from around the area, so a variety of different people. I don't want to announce who the judges are in the past, but year one, we tried athletes because we thought we have about 16 burgers to try. We need people with big appetites. And we found that after about the 8th burger taste, even the athletes sort of had some difficulty. So starting last year, we did the judging in heats. So we ended up having to have about 12 different judges. Dana Herbert was a judge. Chef Murray from from ShopRite, Kenny Family Foundation was there. A couple of journalists and people in the food industry, as well as just some interesting people around town. So,
how do you choose the restaurants?
Well, the first year, we just reached out to people we knew and put the group together. And then the second year, we sent emails and we sent postcards around. And this year, we did the same thing. We sent postcards around. And I actually reached out to Jay because he got a Best of Delaware nod for his burger. And we knew that this was the right time to start working on our Sussex County reach. And thankfully, he generously said yes. And but really, we have 6 new contestants this year, and at least 4 of them came to us.
Oh, really?
People are hearing about it. That's kind of one of the neat surprises. You get a drip cafe from Hokessen coming, and I'm thinking they're a coffee shop. So is that
what they are? A coffee shop? Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't have been and a cafe, but you don't think a little
coffee shop with a
hamburger,
yeah.
And they were one of the first to sign on. We have an Italian restaurant. Had I seen the name Tutto Fresco, I would have thought pasta place. No,
yeah.
So we can approach lots of people. We can have a huge database, but there are always going to be restaurants that we're not going to think of, and hopefully they hear about us.
Anything different this year than from previous years?
Yeah, I'd say a couple different things. There's going to be cider for sampling. We're working on, other beverages. We're also working on some things like sweets. So I would love people to stay tuned to our website and our social media as we get to announce some of the extras that the guests will get to enjoy, for their ticket price. The statewide thing, is pretty new.
Yeah.
Naj was a great experiment last year, and we loved. I'm a downstate girl. I'm from Felton, so the statewide reach is very important to me. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's the really pleasant surprise that the downstate folks have embraced an upstate event. We're working on some other things.
We are just one state.
I know. It's great.
There's always a little competition between the North and the South. It's kind of fun.
Definitely.
I think the South is winning, quite frankly.
The chefs in Delaware are just like one big family, too. And it is definitely like a friendly competition. There will be some smack talk, believe me. And it's great and it's wonderful. And it's the generosity that means so much to the event.
All right, more with JulieAnne and Jay Caputo. We're talking about the Delaware Burger Battle coming up on August 23rd. More talk about that when we come back right here on Sip and Bite on Delaware 105.9. Welcome back to Sip and Bite. I'm your host, Susan Monday. Sip and Bite brought to you by the J. Caputo Restaurant Group. The truth is on your fork. With me this afternoon, one of the co-founders of the Delaware Burger Battle coming up on August 23rd. Saturday. It's a Saturday from 12 to 3:30. Where can you get those tickets again, JulieAnne?
They're available online at deburgerbattle.com.
$45 gets you the tastings of all the burgers, as well as beer from Twin Lakes and cider. And you're thinking about bringing on some wine, but I need to ask Jay, what's better with a burger, like the bacon burger? Would you drink beer with that, or would you recommend a glass of red wine, perhaps?
It's all based on preference. If I was to sit down and eat the bacon burger, I would have a glass of Zinfandel. Red Zinfandel. But I mean, there's a million beers out there that you could pair with it. Fat Tire is really good with our bacon burger. Well, that's a popular beer these days. Twin Lakes has an IPA. Dogfish has some great beers. So I mean,
it has to be something hearty, though, because when you talk about Red Zinfandel, that would stand up to the bacon burger, right?
Well, it would also. I mean, you could also do something completely contrasting, like a Sauvignon Blanc or something that's really crisp and acidic. So you have the fattiness of the burger, and then you get the crisp, acidity from the wine to cut through that. Or you do like a really hoppy IPA. That is a nice contrast to what the fattiness and the richness of the burger. So there's ways you can do it. You can pair things on the same level, which would be like the Zinfandel rich, jammy, pairs
full
perfectly,
body,
right?
yeah.
Pairs perfectly with the burger. Or you could go complete contrast and do something really crisp and acidic.
Back to JulieAnne, what were some of your favorite moments from the past battles? This is your third year doing it, so talk about the prior 2 years. Favorite moments.
It goes by so fast, and when you're running it, you're running around doing things. But honestly, the biggest thing for me kind of happens after the burger battle when we write that big check to the charity. We've donated $11,000 over the past 2 years to the Ministry of Caring's Emmanuel Dining Room, and they feed 180,000 hungry people every year with no questions asked. So,
wow.
Obviously it's ironic. It's a big burger event to feed hungry people, but just it's just important to us to do something really great with the event. I'd say last year the post-event wind down with Sam Hobbs from Twin Lakes was really fun, just to kind of hear his take on the event. He has lots of events on the property, and that getting that adrenaline to kind of come down a little bit afterward. And really, every day leading up to the burger battle is like a mini celebration. Every time we get a restaurant that says yes, especially somebody new, I have a little party in my head. And every time, we get like a bump up in ticket sales, I just enjoy every sort of milestone like that as it comes out.
So you go ahead, Jay.
There's no like knife fights or people throwing burgers at each other. My burger's better than yours.
There's a lot of smack talk. It's true. And in fact, the first year, a restaurant that will remain unnamed, the owner kept calling the manager there and asking for updates, and they were very anxious for us to hurry up and tally up the information. So I suppose I thought it was a fun-loving competition until that moment when I realized that somebody's job may have been on the line that year.
Now, I'm the kind of person, I remember growing up, my mother used to doctor up the burgers. She would put, because I guess my dad liked it this way, she'd put an egg in it and she'd put chopped up onions. And I to this day, I cannot stand that. So I'm the kind of person, I don't like anything in my burger. I like it on top of my burger. What's your preference?
Well, my mom used to make burgers with all the stuff in. We called them meatball burgers, and they were delicious. I lived in Ocean City, Maryland one summer. My mom would send me, care packages of all these burgers, and I would sell them to my friends because they were so good. So
a budding entrepreneur.
I had to make a buck somehow. But I mean, I can go either way. I like stuff on the inside. We make a lamb burger at Rose and Crown once in a while where we stuff it with olive tapenade and goat cheese and fresh basil, and that's a pretty cool way to eat a burger. But generally speaking, I'm very plain. Like I like the burger. I want to taste the meat.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I don't want there to be too much cheese or something. I mean, I want to taste the meat. But I guess it depends on what the chef is going for with that dish.
I think I'm a purist because I just like a nice slice of a ripe tomato from the summertime with a couple condiments, maybe a pickle, and I'm good to go.
Here's the question, though, and this, whole farm to table thing. What do you do in January when you want a piece of tomato on your burger?
Well, I don't put a tomato on it. I can tell you that much. Then I'll have to substitute like an
You
avocado
got to
or
do something else,
yeah,
right?
You're right. You're right.
Drives me crazy when people expect like a ripe tomato in
Yeah.
January.
Let me ask you something, Jay. You were talking about Five Guys is a good place to go after a night of drinking. Is that when you mostly crave a burger after a night of drinking, or are there other times?
I love burgers all the time.
Because you're like a
listen,
a fine dining kind of guy, and burgers are pretty basic.
Well, here's
Americana.
the thing. We cook fine dining. We cook, fancy food. Chefs are around food all the time. You generally don't eat what you cook. I'm not sitting down and eating a 3-course meal of, pan roasted black sea bass with, corn mousse and stuff like that. I want to eat simple. I eat a lot of Chinese food. I eat a lot of Mexican food. I love burgers. I like going places where they have little slider samplers. So, you might not eat a big patty, a big burger patty, but you get 3 little small ones. That's a good,
yeah. What's the response been from the community? I would think good, because you said you had big checks the last 2 years, right? $11,000?
Yeah, I can't honestly remember how many people we thought we would get, but we knew when we started to get to those numbers that it was going to be a great party. We're about twice the ticket sales we were at this point last year, which feels really good. What's really interesting is not just the ticket sales, but the volunteers coming out of the woodwork. And like I said, the restaurants that we've never worked with before approaching us. So that all feels really good. And I think we're on track to make a nice big donation again. We did some early bird ticket sales, and that also that's partially responsible for where we are ticket sales wise. But I think we'll have about 700 bodies on site that day.
And how does the judging work?
Well, like I mentioned before, 3 judges can't try 20 burgers.
Right.
It's just not
heats,
possible.
Right, yeah.
So we do heats, and so the best, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 burgers from each of the first round heat goes up to the top heat, and then 3 judges will judge that. And then with the People's Choice, everyone who comes gets 3 tickets, and they can put them all in one box for the same burger. They can spread it out to the different ones that they like. So we announce it at about 3 p.m. Our event's about a half hour shorter than it was last year, because we realized people with the heat start to fizzle after about 3 hours. So we'll make that announcement at 3 p.m. and then people have one last chance to go try the winning burgers usually, and then we wrap it up.
Jay, you talked about the bun to burger ratio, right? Could you go through this contest and just eat the burger without the bun?
I mean, if you want to try them all, I would suggest doing that. Maybe, that's the way you're not going to fill yourself up.
But if you got the toppings, do you need the bun to secure everything? The vessel, as you call it.
It's going to be a little messy if you don't have any bun at all, but, to each his own.
Are there other ways to eat a burger without a traditional hamburger roll? Like, are there other vessels you've ever considered or tried?
We've done like a take on a Asian lettuce wrap, something like that. That would be a good way to do it. You could just put it on a fork with the topping. We have like little tasting forks or something like that, and you put it on that with the toppings. There's all different kinds of ways you can do it, but I think most people will go fairly traditional with their bun or their serving vessel, and maybe change up the burger and the toppings and things like that.
Is the burger like the only truly American food that we have? Because didn't pizza
fried chicken?
Yeah, I guess fried chicken. Yeah,
mac and cheese.
Yeah. Okay, you're right. All right. You're a guy that keeps up with trends, right? So,
do what I can.
Is there a burger trend in the country? What do you think? Are we eating more burgers? Or we have?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that people are going for the fresh, local. People know their farmers, things like that. I also think that higher end restaurants in cities across the country, you're starting to see burgers creep into the menu a little bit, even if they're fancier restaurants. Places in Manhattan will serve foie gras and truffles on their burger and things like that. It's still a burger. It's just got different toppings. So I think that people are realizing that you can get creative with a burger, and baking homemade buns and all the toppings, and you can do pork burgers and, like I said, lamb and Chicken, obviously, the healthier people are going with turkey burgers and things like that. But I think that from a trend standpoint, people get as chefs like to get creative with burgers just like they do anything else.
Mm-hmm. Back to you, JulieAnne. Give all the vital information, because when we come back, we're going to talk with Jay about his upcoming project. So, again, the event, all the logistics, tickets, website, all of that.
Okay, it's the Delaware Burger Battle. It's taking place on Saturday, August 23rd. It's from noon to 3:30 p.m. at Twin Lakes Brewery in Greenville, Delaware. Very easy to get to from Sussex County. It's about... go up on the main roads and about 3 turns and you're there.
It's Route 52, right?
It's
Somewhere
52.
off Route 52.
Yeah,
okay.
And the tickets are $45 in advance at deburgerbattle.com. They will be $55 at the door if we don't sell out in advance. We strongly encourage advance sales.
Do you think you're going to sell out? Is that what you're saying?
Well, there are resources we have to pay attention to, toilets, seats, things like that. Mm-hmm. So there is a number at which we may put a halt on sales at the door. Beer, yes.
Is it all outdoors? Because I'm just wondering, what happens if it rains?
It's a rain or shine event. We do have 2 big tents that help with shelter. But to Jay's point about beer, we actually drank all the beer in the brewery last year. Mm-hmm. I'm not exaggerating.
All the beer they had?
I was there when we kicked the last keg in the brewery last year. It was great.
So are they better prepared this year?
Yes, we're actually going to have multiple beer stations because the beer lines were long last year. Slightly differently sized sampling cups, and with the cider and possibly other beverages, that will spread out the beverage lines to a variety of different spaces.
Jay, now you said you get all of your meat from, is it Zitvogel?
Zitvogel.
And where are they located? I know they're in Sussex somewhere.
Yeah, they're in Sussex County.
Do we anticipate that all of the contestants in this burger battle locally source their meat, or we don't know the answer to that question?
I think it's a little of everything. We've got really small restaurants. We've got some really well-established restaurants, and there's a variety of different sources for all ingredients.
When we come back, we're going to talk more with Jay Caputo about his upcoming projects. Thank you so much, JulieAnne Cross. I hope that you have a wonderful event.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Welcome back to Sip and Bite. I'm your host, Susan Monday. Sip and Bite brought to you by the J. Caputo Restaurant Group. The truth is on your fork. With me this afternoon is Jay Caputo. And we've been talking about the Delaware Burger Battle, but we're going to switch gears right now and find out what Jay has been up to over the summer. So I know that you are going to be opening up a new restaurant. What is the cuisine going to be like?
It's going to be real casual stuff that I really like to eat. We're going to do barbecue, some traditional, some non-traditional barbecue, great salads, great burger, just a really casual, eclectic menu. It's on Rehoboth Avenue, 251 Rehoboth Avenue, sort of across from Starbucks and the Cultured Pearl. And it's under construction now. We ran into some snags, thought we might be able to make it by the summer, but now it's looking more like September sometime, maybe beginning of October.
The partnership is with David Dietz, is his name, that owns the Brandywine Brewing Company.
Yeah,
I'm familiar
BBC.
with that. Why did you decide to work together? The two of you?
We were introduced by a mutual friend last year and started talking about our goals and things like that. And it turns out that he's really good at some stuff that I don't do very well, and I may be good at some stuff that he's not, very well versed in. So it's a really good partnership.
And will he be an on-site owner, or how will that work?
Yeah,
I mean, he was interested in having a place at the beach.
Absolutely.
Then, I guess,
I mean, he's talking about getting a place down here. We're also looking at a couple projects up in the northern part of Delaware too. So we have a lot of things going on, in expansion mode, but we want to do it smart, we had a lot of things come at us at one time, and we're trying to pick and choose the right things to do.
You said earlier that the name of this restaurant was floated out there and just not true. And you said the naming of a restaurant is very important. Talk to me about that.
Well, obviously, that's the first thing people hear, when they hear about a restaurant, and we want the name to be indicative of the style of cuisine and, things like that. You don't want to, like the Summer House, for example, people know what they're getting when they go there. It's a great name and people recognize it. You don't want to call yourself the organic, cheese factory and serve pasta. It's like, you have to be very specific with your name. You want it to be catchy. You don't want it to be too many words. You don't want it to be words that are hard to say for people, because then they're like, I don't know what that. Well, let's just go there. Let's go somewhere else. So, you want it to be catchy and kind of cool.
So how do you decide that? Do you have a consultant?
We don't have a consultant. Dave and I have thrown about, I don't know, probably 100 names at the wall so far, and nothing has really stuck. The building is an old gas station. It was called Flying A. So originally we were thinking about using that name. And then we sort of trashed that. Neither of us liked that too much. We liked it, but not loved it. And then we ask our friends and, people, and they're like, I don't love that. And then we started thinking about the garage because it's an old gas station. And, we may or may not have found some old gas station relics in the building and things. So we started thinking about that, and now both of us really don't like that. So, we're on to the next, and we've got
this
a couple.
This is like naming a baby, right?
I probably would have an easier time naming my baby.
But this is kind of your baby.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But now you got to deal with another person, so you got to reach agreement on it.
But we're working very well together, and also, it's important. I think he and I both have, strong opinions and ideas, and we're very, direct with each other, and that's the way it should be. And then we go and ask, people that we trust, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Because as good an idea as I think I might have, it might be, lost on the general public. So we want it to be, something positive and obviously indicative of what we're going to be serving and the way the place will look.
Somebody told me that you're selling water ice.
Oh, yeah.
Near there.
So on the same property, there's a little shack that was on the corner that we deemed the water ice shack. And
I love water ice.
I'm making the product offsite and bringing it, and we're just selling it out of this shack. It used to be a taxi stand. It used to be an ATM machine. And, we painted it bright colors, and we're making fresh water ice. We have 4 or 5 different flavors. We're also selling some Hopkins Farm Creamery ice cream, which is cool. Their ice cream is amazing. And
with the water ice, so is it the kind with just crunchy ice and syrup, or like the kind I'm used to from Philadelphia?
It's old Philadelphia water ice.
Do you have like lemon? Because that's my favorite.
We do have lemon.
I'll be there.
We have gummy bear, cherry, and mango. Mango, I can't even keep it in stock.
Really?
It's amazing.
I'll go for the lemon. All right. Well, listen, I got to wrap this up, and we didn't even get to talk about all the other things, so I'm going to have you come back, right?
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you, Jay Caputo.
Thank you.